What if I told you that you could turn your fear of spiders into something fun? Sounds impossible, right? But with a clever technique called associative conditioning, you can actually train your brain to feel less scared and more excited when you see a spider. In today's video, we're going to hear a story about a boy named Max who did exactly that, using a simple card game. And it changed everything for him. After the story, I'll also share some easy tips on how you can use this same method in your own life to face your spider fears. So if you're curious about how to make spiders seem a little less scary and maybe even a little bit fun, stay tuned. Max had always been terrified of spiders. The tiniest one could send him running out of the room, yelling for his mom. His parents had tried everything to help him get over this fear. Books, videos, and even calm discussions about how harmless most spiders were. But nothing seemed to work. That's when his dad came across a video about something called associative conditioning. A method of teaching the brain to connect to something scary, like spiders, with something positive. And that's when his dad came up with the idea of the spider game. Okay, Max, his dad explained, holding up a deck of cards. Here's how the game works. Each time you flip a card, you'll see either a household chore or something that represents a spider. If it's a chore, you'll have to do it before you can flip another card. If it's a spider card, you get 15 minutes of game time. Perhaps you want to play the game Doors again, where Spider Timothy might no longer scare you, his dad said with a wink. The spider cards won't look like real spiders at first, just a simple cross to represent them. When you're comfortable, we'll slowly make the spider cards look more like real spiders. How does that sound? Max was intrigued, but still wary. I don't think I can flip a card with a spider on it, even if it's not real. His dad smiled. We'll start slow. The first card won't have a spider, just an X to represent one. Once you're okay with that, we'll make the X look just a little bit more like a spider. First a simple drawing, and eventually a real picture of a spider. But we won't rush. We'll go at your pace. Max nodded, though he still felt a knot of fear in his stomach. The first few rounds of the game were tough. Flipping a card with even a simple cross on it made him nervous. But the promise of 15 minutes of extra game time kept him going. Slowly, as the game progressed, the cards evolved. The X turned into a basic drawing of a spider, then a more detailed sketch, and finally, a real photo. Each time the spider cards got more realistic, Max's anxiety spiked, but he kept going. And after a few weeks, flipping the spider card became easier. He no longer froze when he saw a spider on the card. Instead, he started associating spiders with something positive. Game time! His brain was slowly rewiring, just like his dad had hoped. He even started playing the game Doors again, and Spider Timothy in that game didn't bother him much anymore. Even Max himself felt impressed about this change. One afternoon, Max's biggest test yet arrived. He was in the backyard collecting leaves for a school project on different types of trees. His little sister Ella was nearby, playing with her doll Lizzie under a tree. Everything was peaceful, until Ella let out a shriek. "Max, help!" she cried, pointing at her doll. A large garden spider had landed on Lizzie's head, its long legs stretching over the poor doll. Ella felt very scared for her doll. "The spider is gonna get her! Do something!" she wailed. Max froze, his heart pounding. The sight of a real spider on the doll was different from the images on the cards. But then he remembered the game. His fear didn't feel so overwhelming anymore. He thought of the card game and how he had slowly gotten used to seeing spiders without panicking. Taking a deep breath, Max grabbed a stick from the ground. His hands were a little shaky, but he felt a sense of determination. He gently nudged the spider off the doll and guided it onto a nearby bush. Once the spider was safely away from Ella's doll, Max stood up straight, feeling an overwhelming sense of pride. Ella stared at him in awe. "You saved her! You didn't even freak out!" Max couldn't help but grin. He felt incredible, more proud than he'd ever felt before. Removing that spider wasn't just about helping his sister, it was proof that he'd conquered his fear. The rush of confidence he felt was better than any game reward. That evening, Max told his dad the whole story. His dad listened, clearly impressed. "You know what, Max?" his dad said, smiling proudly. "From now on, whenever you find a spider in the house, if you calmly point it out, I'll give you 15 minutes of game time. No cards needed. How does that sound?" Max's eyes widened. "Really? Just for finding a spider?" His dad nodded. "You've earned it." From that day forward, Max became the official spider spotter in the house. Every time he found one, he calmly pointed it out to his parents. And just like that, he'd earn extra game time. But more importantly, he realized he wasn't afraid anymore. Spiders weren't so bad after all. When the time came for Max to present a project at school, he chose to talk about spiders. He had learned so much about them and had no hesitation explaining what he knew. He even showed his classmates pictures of different types of spiders. And as he spoke, he felt proud, like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. Not long ago, he'd been terrified of spiders, but now they didn't bother him at all. His fear was gone, replaced by confidence and knowledge, all thanks to a little game of spider cards. The technique that was used to make Max less afraid of spiders is called associative conditioning. This is when your brain learns to connect two things, like something scary and something fun. In the spider card game, every time Max turned a spider card, he got a reward, 15 minutes of game time. First, when his brain saw a spider, it says, "Help!" But over time, it starts to say, "Yay! Now I get game!" He began to feel the excitement of gaming more than the fear of spiders. This way, the game helped change how he felt about spiders by linking them with something he enjoyed. Now you can use this same technique to help you with your own fear of spiders. Here's how to do it. Make your own card game. Create a set of cards with spider images on some and tasks or exercises on others. The task cards could be simple things like doing some stretching or cleaning a small area of your home. 2. Choose your rewards. Think of something you enjoy. A snack, a few minutes of your favorite show, reading a chapter of a book you love. Every time you turn over a spider card, give yourself that reward. 3. Act out the excitement. Here's an important part. Whenever you turn over a spider card, even if you feel a little scared, respond by saying out loud, "Yay, I got a spider card!" And act excited, even if you have to fake it at first. By doing this, your brain will start to associate spiders with the feeling of excitement. The more you practice, the more your brain will link spiders with something positive. This approach works because your brain rewires itself to connect the idea of spiders with something good rather than fear. The fake excitement will eventually feel real as your brain catches on to the new pattern. Over time, your fear will diminish, replaced with a neutral or even positive response. Why not try it out and let me know in the comments what kind of reward you chose and how it's working for you. I'd love to hear your stories. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It would mean a lot as I'm already working on next week's video, where I will share with you a smart technique to deal with annoying people. Without standing up to them, you can nudge them into becoming a pleasant company. Got curious? See you next week.